on the play to bring up 2nd and 2.
Just sent everybody on a straight pattern, and that drew an already deep defense in the secondary back. Just opened up the middle of the field, and Will read it immediately. Well, Grant, they're not going to give him as much as you and I thought.
I was a little generous to the old Ram offense, apparently.
I thought you were right on that, but it's going to be more of a 2nd and 4 instead of 2nd and 2. Mario Kirby will check in at H-back for the Rams.
9 minutes left to go here. Handoff Isaiah Jacobs up the left side to the 30-yard line. He'll get up to about the 28, close to that first down.
He just stiff-armed Mashburn down to the ground that time as he came to the outside. Every play with Jacobs is very physical.
And he was just close enough. Move up the chains. It's another Westerman Financial Services first down with 8:53 left to go in this half. One man split to the right, Lusk split to the left. Handoff is Isaiah Jacobs, the second man through. He'll get down to about the line of scrimmage, no further.
Well, again, we haven't seen the Rams throw on this drive yet. Now it's going to be second, loss of 2 on the play, so 2nd and 12. And the defense of Norman North is really collapsing in the middle, so see if we don't try to do something off play action.
8:29 and the clock rolling here in the third quarter of play. Our score 17-0 if you're just joining us.
Peyton Lusk here on the near side of the field.
Twins to each side of the line, dropping back to throw. Keeney now is scrambling to the right. He'll sling it up the middle of the field. Ball short, nobody there to get it. No flag, luckily, this time.
Yeah, I'm not sure somebody didn't run the wrong pattern, Grant, because usually what Coach Blankenship's like is to have an underneath receiver, and both receivers were about 30, 35 yards downfield.
Third down and 12 to go from the 27-yard line. A crucial third down early in this third quarter. Trips to the right this time. Keeney ready to take the snap, dropping back to throw, looking, he'll fire it up the middle, it's off the fingertips.
And landing off too. That would have been an easy pick 6 that time, as trying to see who was jumping the route, and I believe that was going to be Deontay Newsom.
4th down and 12 from the 27-yard line.
And Coach Blankenship's not going to back down. We're going to try and go for it here again. Just another one of those spots. It's too long for the field goal, but really too short for the punt. And your defense has been playing outstanding all night.
Like Tom Petty, he won't back down. From the left hash mark, 4th down and 12 from the 27, Keeney. And the whistles blow, and flag on the play.
Yeah, this may change the...
Ah, man, false start on the offense is the call here, so
I don't see any change on the field of personnel, so
no,
apparently that didn't change anyone's mind either.
17-0, and we're apparently not concerned about it. So 4th down, 17 yards to go from the 32-yard line. Keeney back to throw, slinging it up the field. Is somebody there to get it? Oh, man, it was almost caught by Isaiah Jacobs, but went right out of his hands into the end zone. Had he caught it and been able to hold on to it, it would have been 6 more for the Rams.
Yeah, a perfect play call that time by the offensive coordinators for Owasso. Will Keeney actually had his choice between the inside receiver, Isaiah Jacobs, but he also had Peyton Lusk behind the corner on the far side. He could have floated it to either one. Just an unfortunate mishap there, as Norman North will come out now and take over 1st and 10.
At their own 32, the Timberwolves moving from left to right on the radio dial. Romaldo, the quarterback, ready to take the snap, handing off. First man through. We'll get to the 35-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play. Christian just texted me down on the sideline. He said, man, he had that. That would have been a heck of a catch. And Jacobs is definitely back. I would agree with that.
Just brushing off the rust, and he's going to be an even bigger threat in the passing game. Now, Grant, I'm going to take a chance here that I'm not going to get fired.
All right.
And I'm going to defer the headset over here to my good friend Jared Gallagher.
Outstanding.
Has the voice of an angel. So, you know,
give Owasso a break.
We're going to go through this play here, and then I'm going to taking a big chance.
Ram fans, your prayers have been answered. Oh my gosh, a flea flicker back to the quarterback. He'll sling it up the field. Flag, and we picked it off. Gage Lady interception. Oh, my.
Man, I'm glad I didn't give my headset up too quick on that. What a great play.
My goodness.
Let's see what the flag is about, but I think it's going to go against Norman North.
It should, based on what we saw here. We will welcome the voice of Oklahoma, Jared Gallagher, to the broadcast, the voice of the TU Golden Hurricanes, the stadium voice of the Owasso Rams. The Redbirds, 66ers, whatever. What are they this week?
The Oklahoma City Dodgers. Yeah, that's right. And Los Angeles starts their playoff run tonight, so it's baseball season's done for me, but I still get to watch some Los Angeles Dodgers baseball, so that's always exciting.
Send Mallory down to the concession stand and see if he'll put it on his dime tonight.
There we go.
Quick toss, Isaiah Jacobs running free to the 50, to the 45, down to the 40-yard line, brought down at the 37. Jared Gallagher, he broke a tackle and was almost set free had he not run into that second wave of the Norman North defense.
Yeah, it's been a long couple of weeks, wondering when Isaiah was going to come back, and I'm not as ingrained in the program as you or Steve is, being in town. It seems like Steve always has the insider information, but, seeing Isaiah come back last week and having a great game last week, and then looks like he's having another good one this week, and man, Steve hit it on the head. He's so powerful.
Keeney handed off to Isaiah Jacobs on that play, and he got to the 33-yard line. And that's a gain of 4 on the play to bring up second down and about 6. Tell you, Jared, your TU Golden Hurricane, they having a bit of a challenging start to the season, but hopefully they'll turn it around soon for Coach Montgomery. Handoff. Jacobs trying to pile up the middle, gets up to the 34, that original line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Yeah, halftime right now for the Golden Hurricane. They're actually in Houston tonight. This is the second of 3 straight games when they're not playing on Saturday. They played Thursday last week, play Thursday tonight, and then next Friday they're actually back home. I believe against South Florida. Right. So, but holding with Houston, who's had a good season so far. Houston 3-1 on the year. Tulsa jumped out to a 13-7 lead. It's 17-13 at half. Houston.
Keeney bobbling the snap, rolling back, rolling to the right. Flag on the play. He'll sling it up the field. Nobody. He was aiming for Keelan Carney. It was in and out of his hands, and just kind of went right over him. And that'll bring up a 4th down if they don't. We'll see what the flag is.
Yeah, it looks like, that's a tough situation there. It looks like it's probably going to be holding on the Rams. But, you get a bobbled snap like that, and those linemen just do anything you can to protect your quarterback at that point.
Well, they'll replay the 3rd down. So for those of you who don't, you hear Jared everywhere, but you are working for public relations and marketing firm Coast Communications in Oklahoma City.
That's right. Yeah, this is actually my neck of the woods out here. Used to traveling up to Owasso on Friday nights, and then for basketball games as well. You'll Coach Duffield lets me come up and call some basketball games in the winter time. But this is my neck of the woods, and I always try to get out here to watch the Rams whenever they're here.
Back to pass. Keeney slings it up the right side of the field, trying to connect with open Preston Hendricks, and it's in and out of his hands, so that'll bring up 4th down. You and I, Jared, may be the most prolific users of the pipe pass function in the way. Me on the Muskogee Turnpike and you on the Turner Turnpike.
Yeah, getting a lot of use out of it, and I keep wondering when they're going to get that Turner Turnpike done. It seems like the construction grows and grows every time I go up and down.
As many times as they've raised the prices, they've got the money. We know that. Well, I know that it's got to be a big thrill for you to be able to call your alma mater, the Owasso High School Rams. You get to call TU. This has got to be a blast in this season of life for you.
It really is. As the Rams have a pretty good punt there, and it's fair caught right at the 20. I'm so blessed to have this opportunity to get to come back to Owasso. My mother is the librarian at the high school, and all of my siblings and I grew up in the Owasso school system, and so Ram pride is really ingrained in us, and so for me to get to come back and try to do my part to help enhance the game experience for football and basketball, and just do whatever I can to try to make that as good as possible. And I think, Coach Duffield and Brandon and Brock and you guys and everybody on the staff does a great job of really delivering a top-notch product.
Romaldo with a quick handoff, first man through, gets it up to the 25-yard line, and that is going to be a gain of about 5 yards on the play, so that should bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Norman North Timberwolves. Or second down and 5. They had not reset the light-up down marker. Now, Jared, when you and I were in school, they did not have neon light-up down markers, but they do here at Norman North.
That's right. I was actually talking to Coach Duffield down on the field about that earlier. I said, hey, we need to get some of those digital down markers. And he had a few worries about them. They're battery-powered. Right. And then, you're used to hand off to Blaine Martin. He's sacked behind the line of scrimmage, and that's going to bring up 3rd down. Jared Gallagher continue. You're used to flipping, the down marker, and all of a sudden you just got a button. So I see how it can pose some issues, but it does look really good from up here.
I was looking at my Facebook memories earlier, and it was like 5 years ago tonight. I was calling a ball game in Arkansas where the down marker had actually broken, and they were having the hold-up dog show style the sign, It's just,
you get some of those fast plays out in the flats, and they're coming toward the sideline, and it's you'll see some down markers and stuff like that.
Trips to the right now. Romaldo back to throw off the left hash mark. He keeps it instead. He's trying to run forward. No gain on the play to speak of, maybe a yard at the most, and that's going to bring up 4th down in the punting situation for Norman North. What's been your favorite part, Jared Gallagher, about getting to do all this PA work?
That's a great question. I really think it is, being able to provide a professional first-rate product to whatever it might be. If it's a Dodgers regular season game, or I have the opportunity to do Big 12 baseball championships. In the spring this year, I got to do a little work at the NCAA golf championships out in Stillwater. Right. So that was a lot of fun. But it's really just gratifying. It's really nice for me to be able to do my part to give as professional and as first-rate of a product as we can. And again, I think, we do it as well as anybody at Owasso.
I know that you being an OSU guy, you've gotten to really learn from guys like Larry Reese and some of these guys that are just legendary, Mark Hunziker and the people who are in the world of sports information over there. And, it's really kind of a cool thing to see how these guys, even from the PA Stadium voice, I hear Larry on the RCB Bank spots that we run, and he's established his own brand. As Keeney's back to throw, he'll throw into the hands of an open receiver to the 40, to the 35, 30, down to the 25, and brought down at the 20-yard line. Mario Kirby on the run there for the Owasso Rams. And nice to see him back from some injury problems that have been nagging him. That's going to be a Westerman Financial Services first down, Jared.
Yeah, I tell you what, Steve's son Grant and my brother Matt both played tight end in Owasso, and I think Mario Kirby's had more catches than both of them combined in his career.
Yeah, we've got an injured Norman North Timberwolf. Steve's got the binoculars. He's moving his hands, and he's not, it looks like he may be up here in just a second. So you graduated from Owasso in 06?
07.
07. Yeah, 07. Okay, I gave you a year more than you actually had.
Been out 11 years, and at one time, it didn't feel like that long ago. It does feel like that long ago now whenever you see these kids down here,
I just turned 37, and it's really weird because I start seeing on Facebook where some of the people in my senior class who got started with families young are now becoming grandparents. Wow. And I'm just like, no, this can't happen, man. What is going on?
Yeah.
So it's really, it'll go by fast. You're right about that. Well, so you've got all of this going on throughout the course of the year. How many hours do you work a week?
Well, I've got, I keep the normal hours at the office. My office is right here in Bricktown, so it's pretty nice. I'm right there. So for Dodgers games, I just basically walk across the street, and you know, I go down 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, and then I go from 5 to whenever the baseball game's over. But
one of the few people who has the privilege of eating at an indoor Sonic down the road from your
that's right, that's right.
Back to pass is Keeney. He'll connect with an open receiver down to the 18-yard line. Goes Keelan Carney, the freshman, and that is going to be a gain of about 3 on the play to bring up 2nd down and 7 with 2:29 left to go in this third quarter. So living in Oklahoma City, and now Keeney handing off. Man up the middle is going to be Isaiah Jacobs. Wow. He's trying to push through. He breaks like 5 different defenders and gets into the end zone. Touchdown to Owasso.
I tell you what, he had the shiftiness of Barry Sanders there, and then punched it in. He dragged the guy about 6 yards, a lot like a Lindell White or something like that. That was a beautiful run from Isaac Jacobs.
That'll put Owasso up 23-0. Okay, boys, you want to call the field goal here?
Yeah, so actually, man, it's been a long time since I've done play-by-play. It's been several years since I've done play-by-play. Snap down, kick up, and the kick is good. 2:16 remaining in the third quarter. The Owasso Rams hold a 24-0 lead over the Norman North Timberwolves.
And after that stretch, this is probably my last game. We'll take a break and be back right after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to Owasso Ram football on 100.1 KYFM. Do I? No problem. I know. Your oldest sports. Nothing our score here in Norman. 2:16 left to go in the third quarter. Grant Merrill, Steve Malley, Christian Favalora. Appreciate our man Jared Gallagher joining us for a few minutes here in the third quarter to talk about all the great things he's doing as the stadium voice of TU, stadium voice of the Rams, the Oklahoma City Dodgers. He is a, excuse me, busy guy. Steve Malley is it's always a privilege to have him on the broadcast.
Oh gosh, yeah, he's great and just fantastic to have him. A great family. Matt was a great tight end for Owasso.
Kickoff returned and brought back to the 15-yard line by Blaine Martin.
Our families have been friends for going on 25 years or so at this point, and Jared's dad actually built 2 of my homes.
Wow.
And so we've put a lot of trust in each other over time, but it's been fun to watch the kids grow up. I was shocked to hear Jared's been out 11 years, and I'm thinking, well, heck, I've been out 38. So, you know, I'm like him. You look back, and these kids playing weren't even born at that time. But what a great job. I got a little concerned there whether or not you were going to bring me back when he made that play call on the kick. So
I don't know if either one of us are coming back after Jared got a hold of the play-by-play there. Handoff, first man through, gets the first down for the Timberwolves as he'll make the 30-yard line. Martin, the ball carrier, move up those chains as Norman North trailing 24-0, still trying to push forward here with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And of course, I heard you talking about him being the voice of the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, not only doing football right now, but we'll also be doing basketball. And so come out and have a good time, and I know Gerald will say hi to you.
Handoff, first man through, gets a gain of about 3 yards on the play, 2nd down and 7.
Hey, he and I are sitting out here laughing, Grant, because it looked like a giant hawk just flew in front of our faces. It's a moth that's probably about, well, not as big as, it's pretty long, and coming in low for a landing, so I wasn't prepared for that broadcasting outside here tonight.
It may be the Lazy Hawk referenced in the song Oklahoma. Circle again here at Norman North tonight. Back to throw, Romaldo, he'll sling it up the left side of the field. His man's open, down to the 40, down to the 30, 25, 20. And he stepped out of bounds somewhere along the way.
38-yard line.
Yeah, he was marked off at the 38. That's where Norman North will have it 1st and 10. But Beautiful throw and catch for Romaldo and his receiver.
Yeah, the receiver able to get behind the corner there on the far side. We've struggled in that area. Deuce Mayberry had 2 interceptions last week, but that's the second time that they've been able to throw in his area and complete a long pass.
Minute 2 left to go in the third quarter. 1st and 10, Timberwolves. Romaldo ready to take the snap right here. Off the left hash mark he goes. Handoff, first man through, can't get anywhere.
Hilton Mosby just blew up his blocker and was able to tackle in the backfield Martin, the running back.
That is going to bring up 2nd down and 12 for the Timberwolves. Back to the 40-yard line they go with 45 seconds left on the clock here in the third quarter.
Got to tell you, Grant, we're going to have a tough decision tonight talking about that McDonald's player of the game. And I got to throw Hilton Mosby's name out there. The senior has led all night. Now, I know we got guys all over the field, but Mosby has just caused a lot of havoc there in this defense.
2nd and 12, Ronaldo back to handoff. Martin up the left side, gets to the 40-yard line, down to the 35, brought down at the 33. Gain of 7 on the play will bring up 3rd down and 5. Deuce Mayberry credited with the stop here.
You got someone that sticks out in your mind at this point of the game? We got just 6 seconds left. We may need to come back and revisit that.
We'll revisit that here in just a moment. We'll be back right after this. This is Owasso Ram football on KYFM. I'm going to run to the restroom. If they come back, will you bring it, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. I'll be right back. It's just, the restroom's right here.
Well, just turn me up.
Okay, you're up. You're up.
I can't.
Yeah, you're up. Yeah.
Am I up?
Yeah, you're up.
Okay. You doing numbers?
Yeah, just about done.
Testing. I can't hardly hear myself.
Proud to sponsor Northern North High School Athletics. We believe good sportsmanship
and 9 from the 38-yard line. Keeney with triplet right there with him. Twins to the right, twins to the left. Keeney back to throw, slings it up the left side of the field. It's off the fingertips of his intended receiver, Peyton Lusk.
Well, I tell you what, Grant, we talk about the drop passes, and the Rams have had at least 3, if not maybe 4 or 5 here tonight, and I think that's one area they've really got to get cleaned up to move in to that next level of contention. As I said before, and again, I'm not getting on kids, but I think we've dropped more passes so far this season than all of last year combined.
Keeney back to throw, guns it up the right side to Van Landingham. First down Owasso as he'll be brought down at the 50-yard line. A Westerman Financial Services first down as they'll move up the chains.
And just as I say that, Grant Van Landingham pretends to hear me and makes a really nice catch and move the chains for the Rams.
Keeney, twins to each side, ready to take the snap, does so, drops back to throw, slings it up to the left side of the field to Peyton Lusk. He'll bring it down to the 43-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play will bring up 2nd and 4.
And Grant, you may be able to hear some of the fans out here. They're seeing what I'm seeing. Some of the Norman North fans, they are not pleased that the corners of Norman North are playing 10 yards off the outside receivers. And it's just giving the Rams a lot of room in the flat for anything underneath, or just run a direct slants, something on an inside hook. It's just there for the pickings, and
looks like one of the
couple of these parents are not pleased about this soft defense.
Looks like we've got a delay in the game as one of the down markers is being quickly repaired on the sideline. 9:49 left to play, 2nd down and 1 from the 42-yard line here on KYFM Bartlesville, KYFM HD1 Bartlesville, as we head into the 9 o'clock hour. 2nd inches out of the gun. It'll be Keeney on the keeper, rushing forward. First down to Owasso. He'll slide into the 35 on a 7-yard gain.
Nice job by Will. Received the snap, the rush, pushed to the outside, and that just opened up the middle. Took that one back step, planted his foot, and drove right up the middle. Taking the slide. I like the safe play because we need to keep Will in the game. Don't want him taking any hits.
And now the ball coming loose as the pass was batted down. That'll bring up 3rd down here.
Yeah, Weston Peck coming off that left side, able to get his hands up, because if he doesn't able to tip that, a lot of underneath openings there for Will to make a complete pass.
Man in motion to the right. Will dropping back to throw. He'll connect with Isaiah Jacobs at the 30, down to the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. In he goes. Touchdown Owasso.
Easy. So easy that time. A great play call, as Coach Blankenship calls it. We had some eye candy coming over here on the near side, a lot of movement, and the play went to the far side, just a toss out to Isaiah Jacobs. And quite honestly, Grant, nobody wants to get in front of that train when it's coming downhill at you.
30-0 our score, as the extra point coming from Christian Johnson. The hold from Gage Laney. The kick from Johnson is up and good, and Owasso leads it 31-0. 9:16 left to play. We'll be back right after this 1-minute break. This is Owasso Ram football on 100.1 KYFM.
What's going on today? My daughter's got a rash on her arm.
Parents take great care with their children, even with common medical programs.
How far was that?
Not that I've ever noticed.
Norman Regional is here for
How
you
much?
24/7. And with
Okay.
the new virtual care app, you can visit with the physician in minutes using your computer, tablet, or phone.
From left to right on the radio dial, Grant, Steve, and Christian along with you here in Norman North tonight. This is 31-0 after the Isaiah Jacobs touchdown, as here comes the kick for the Owasso Rams. It's teed up at the 40. 2 men back to receive, and it'll fall off the tee while they reset it. Steve, here's another RCB bang by the number stats update.
Well, it was a 7-play drive, and it covered 63 yards, and it was Isaiah Jacobs on that 36-yard pass, but most of it he did with his feet as he was able to run that into the end zone. And Grant, some of these guys are just getting a little bit hesitant about jumping in front of Isaiah to make a tackle.
The ball rolls back into the end zone after bouncing high on the ground, and now Norman North will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
So we're seeing Isaiah Jacobs come in and really make an impact on this ball club, but also, in my opinion, Grant, what it has done is given confidence to this offensive line to be able to block more effectively and also give Will a little bit of a calming effect in the passing game.
9:15 left to go in the ball game. We're glad you're with us tonight here on KYFM and online at InsideOwasso.com as we await the snap from the quarterback, Romaldo. He's ready to take it here. With twins to the left, one man split to the right. Jackson Romaldo back to pass. He'll sling it up the left side of the field. It bounces off the shoulder pad of his intended receiver, Malachi Gatewood, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Timberwolves at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, Omar Barker was in good coverage as well. I'm not sure he was able to get his hand in there, and then you had Gage Laney coming over. And as last week and this week's games have progressed, Grant, you're really beginning to see this defense mature. There's still a lot of growing to do, things they can correct, and some mistakes have been made, but I really like where we are compared to maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Twins to the left, and Ronaldo ready to take the snap here on 2nd and 10. He claps his hands, they snap it to him, handoff as Martin goes up the left side. He'll get to the 23-yard line for a gain of 3 on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 7. Brendan Dye got
his name. Yeah, nice job by Brendan getting some of that playing time that we're talking about. Also, Cameron Bland, a 5'11", 270-pound defensive lineman, a junior in the game for the Rams.
Former McDonald's player of the game. Speaking of which, Steve, I'm thinking a McDonald's stop on the way home. Maybe
those fries.
Maybe in the works. Tim Rich, if you're listening, I will order with my app. And an interception. Ronaldo dropping back to pass, throws it right into the hands of Owasso. They're going to let him back. Omar Barker to the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. And it is 37-0 with 8:23 left to go in the ball game.
Beautiful. What a beautiful play. Omar Barker is a junior, 5'9", 175. I'm telling you, these guys are starting to gel, and they're having fun, and that leads to a contagious success on that sideline, excitement and energy. Look at those guys jumping around over there.
Well, we'll try to see what Christian Johnson can do as far as the extra point is concerned here. 8:23 to go. And the kick is through the uprights and good. It is 38-0. And our score, we've got 8:23 left to play in this one. We'll take a 30-second break. Back for the kickoff after this. This is Owasso Ram football on KYFM. As Owasso trying to go for its second 40-plus point shutout in a row, Steve, as we shut out Edmond North last week 48-0, and now it's 38-0 in favor of the Owasso Rams. The kick coming. It is end over end. Back toward a receiver there at the 1-yard line. He's going to be on his horse at the 15, up to the 20, up to the 25, 30, ran out of bounds near the 34-yard line. And how about an RCB bank by the number stats update, Steve?
Well, that one's pretty easy, Grant. It was Omar Barker back in defensive coverage, and he just set up, made the pick, and returned it 32 yards, returned for a touchdown to give this Rams a 38-0 lead. And gosh, guys just keep throwing their names into the hat for the McDonald's player of the game.
1st and 10 from the 35-yard line for the Norman North Timberwolves.
Winning's fun. We were, Grant, you and I had people talking to us, what's wrong with the Rams when they were 1-3, and we kept saying, well, they're playing some pretty good ball clubs, and if this holds on here, all of a sudden we're at 500 at 3-3.
Twins to east side of the line here. And now a handoff. First man through is going to get pummeled and stopped. No, sir. They're not letting him go anywhere. And on the run there for Norman North is Jake Roberts, the junior. That was a slight game, and it wasn't much of anything. 2nd down and 8 from the 37.
This defensive line has just really controlled things up front all night long. Norman North has continued to try and pound that middle, but the Rams defense has not bent at all this evening.
7:40 left to go in the ball game. 38-0. The Owasso Ram lead on 2nd and 8 from the 37. Twins out to the left side of the line here. Man in motion to the left slightly, and back to pass is Ronaldo. He will throw it up the left side. It's caught at the 38-yard line. Big first down there as Malachi Gatewood makes the catch deep into Owasso territory for Norman North, and that is a big first down.
That was a fantastic pass, though, by Romaldo, about 25 yards downfield, as the receiver went down, got behind the corner and in front of the safety, and Romaldo just dropped a perfect pass in there to his receiver.
As the great Merv Johnson would say, Steve, that was a big, big play.
Big play.
I miss old Bob and Merv sometimes. 1st and 10 from the 36. Man in motion to the right now. Quick toss into the hands of Malachi Gatewood. He's not going anywhere. He gets a gain of a yard on the play as he's brought down at the 35-yard line, and that'll bring up 2nd and 9.
I don't know how things look to you up there, but down here, I just see white shirts on the defensive side of the football really rushing around and getting to the ball. You're going to see multiple white shirts in on every tackle and every play, and this is the type of Ram defense that we're used to seeing.
2nd and 9, Twins to the left side of the line for Jackson Romaldo. He's back to throw, splitting the hash marks. He'll sling it up the right side of the field. It's caught down at the 7-yard line, and he's brought out of bounds right there. Another big, big first down from the Norman North Timberwolves, and they are knocking on the door, trying to avoid a shutout here, down 38-0.
Well, Deuce Mayberry was in position to make the play. He read it all the way and read the pass, but instead of following the path of the football, he stopped and tried to jump up and tip it away. And again, Romaldo, with just a great throw, drops it in the bucket to his receiver.
6:21, Romaldo ready to go here with Twins to the left side, takes the snap, keeps it faking a handoff, rolling up the left side, into the end zone he goes, touchdown Norman North. And that'll bring up 38-6 on the scoreboard. The Timberwolves will avoid being shut out tonight with 6:16 left to go.
That was just a good drive, and credit Romaldo. He had 2 fantastic passes that he dropped into his receiver's hands and then finished it off with the 7-yard touchdown run.
So let's see what they can do as far as an extra point is here. Here is the kick. It is up through the upright and good. 38-7 our score with 6:16 left to play in this ballgame. We'll take a 30-second break. Be back right after this. You're listening to Ram Football on KYFM. Hello to former voice of the Rams, Travis Dunn, who tweeted just a moment ago, Steve, what's more of an impressive find on a Thursday night in Norman? Isaiah Jacobs back to full strength, or Jared Gallagher spotting for the Undertaker during a bathroom break?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
I'm going to say Isaiah Jacobs is a little bit bigger deal.
Oh, man. Omar Barker is going to set up shop at about the 15-yard line along with Deuce Mayberry on the other side of the field there. And for the first time, we have a kickoff here for Norman North. As the kick is going to skim the ground, and it is going to be picked up at the 25-yard line. Up to the 30 he goes, and on the return for Owasso, that is going to be Trey Goins. 1st and 10 Rams at about the 33-yard line. Well, we're glad you're with us tonight. Wherever you are, 6:10 left to play. Norman North avoiding the shutout as Rams lead at 38-7. And I did not realize this during our interview with Jared, Steve, but it is apparently National Public Address Announcers Week.
Golly. I have not received my gift yet.
They said public address announcers.
Oh.
Yeah, not color commentator, mortician.
I'm going to guess
combination.
I'm going to guess they don't have a week named for you or I, Grant.
No.
Probably safe.
They probably got some names for you and I, but it's probably not a good one.
We cannot broadcast those.
2nd down and 8 from the 33-yard line.
See if we, with Preston Hendricks in the game at quarterback, get a heavy dose of the run.
Preston handing off to Eddie Nava. Nava up to the 35-yard line. He'll be brought down at the 38. And that is a gain of 5 on the play to bring up 3rd down and 3.
Good to see some of these guys getting in some game time. Still have some starters in there. Trey Goins back in the ball game.
3rd down and a yard. Twins to the right side. Man in motion to the left now. Handoff, second man through. It's going to be Nava. Flags flying as he gets down to about the 50-yard line inside of the 46. And we'll see what the flag is actually called for. Looks like it's going to be holding, Steve.
Yeah, you got to expect that's what's going to bring that one back on the outside. Nice run, though, by Eddie Nava.
10 yards, 3rd down.
A 10-yard penalty, move the ball back for the Rams, so probably 3rd, and what do you think, about 11?
Yeah, 3rd and 11.
5:07 to go here in the 4th, though. Rams up 38-7. You got to think that they'll probably keep it on the ground, and I'm wrong.
Back to throw is Preston Hendricks. He'll connect with Keelan Carney. Carney up to the 35-yard line. He'll get to the 37 before he's finally dragged to the ground. And that is going to be a gain of about 7 on the play to bring up 4th down and 5.
Riley Barker over to make the tackle, the junior linebacker. Rams going to punt this one away.
4:36 of the clock rolling, 38-7, our score. And we'll see what they do right here as Alex Haight will kick it away.
Let some time run off the clock.
Here's the kick. Wobbly, it'll be fielded at about the 30-yard line, and back to the 40 he goes, back to the 45. Blaine Martin, the ball carrier, as he's brought out of bounds at the 48.
First down, Chickaboos. 31 yards on the punt and a 14-yard return.
So that'll bring up 1st down and 10 for the 46-yard line for the Norman North Timberwolves.
Well, the Rams have come over and just done an outstanding job here this evening. I think, Grant, that we've seen a lot of growth in the last 2 weeks, in my opinion, than we have all season long. Guys really starting to settle in on both sides of the football.
Finally feels like home now, you know. Handoff from Grimaldo. He'll get to the 50-yard line, the ball carrier, down to the 49 of the Owasso Rams.
Got some new Rams in the game. Hunter Thorson is in on the defensive line. Also have Andre King. He is a sophomore. Looks like Nathan Deathridge is in as well for the Rams.
Second down and 5 to go from the 49-yard line, 3:37 and the clock rolling here in fourth quarter action. Friends at Academic Advantage reminding you that they're much more than just an academic tutor as a flea flicker gets into the hands of, they're going to get him back behind the line of scrimmage. Malachi Gatewood had it for Norman, and he's brought down at the 40-yard line, so they're going to bring that back quite a bit. But anyway, Academic Advantage ready to take care of your child's extra needs when it comes to studies in the classroom with things like ADHD, diagnosis and treatment. So call Dr. Tricia Pitkin today. Visit her on the web at www.academicadvantage.org. Steve Malley.
Oh, an interesting play call that time, Grant, when you're down to 3 minutes to go trying to flea flicker. Now you got 3rd and long.
Back throw Romaldo as he's dancing around behind the line, and will he be dragged down? Yes. Oh, man. Back at the 31-yard line, and on that tackle is going to be Andre King for the Owasso Rams. How about that?
One of the young guys getting some play action, and he just went in and he just ran the quarterback down, rolling out to his right side, and King coming off to his right side on the defense just chased the quarterback down and threw him down to the ground. A great play by the sophomore.
4th and 24. The Timberwolves backed up somewhere between Norman and Tecumseh after that last loss of yardage.
Good one.
And now here comes the punt. They'll kick it away from right to left. It'll bounce at about the 41, and they'll be marked off at about the 37. And that is where Owasso will have it. 1st and 10 with 1:57 left to go in this fourth quarter of play. And it's going to be a nice ride home tonight, Mr. Malley.
Going to enjoy that as we see the home crowd beginning to disperse. Under 2 minutes to go, and you know, I just like the way the Rams came in here tonight and took care of business, and they did what we thought they needed to do, Grant. They jumped out early and didn't fall behind. I felt like they got in a good rhythm, good play calling rhythm, and really executed well.
1st and 10, Preston Hendricks back in at quarterback. Handoff, Eddie Nava up the middle to the 42-yard line, and that is going to be a 4-yard gain. We'll make it a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7, they're giving the 41 there. Gain of 3 as we've got 1:39, clock still rolling. They're just going to try to wind this thing down here pretty quickly. I'll give it to the Norman North cheerleaders. They've still got a lot of spirit for a team down 38-7.
I'm not sure they've known there's a football game going on here tonight.
Still going full speed. Handoff, first man through, gets down to the 50-yard line, and it's Hagan Hood on the run, and he'll achieve a little Western and Financial Services first down on an 8-yard gain for the Owasso Rams.
They're getting all 37 of these home crowd fans fired up, though.
That's right. Down from the 42 that were here at kickoff, so 1st and 10 from the 49. Preston Hendricks handing off first man through Nava.
I think he lost the football. Let's see if they give it to Norman North.
Yeah, he got down to the 48. And
yep, it's going to be a turnover.
Fumble away, and the Timberwolves will turn it over. And this PA announcer with the excitement like they just discovered gold at the 47-yard line. Hey, you still got to be excited for the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just giving them a hard time, but we've been there a few times this season ourselves where we're still rooting them on, even when you're down by quite a bit. 1st and 10, Timberwolves at their own 49-yard line with 1:05 left to go in this one. 38-7 our score. Owasso up by 31 points tonight. Twins to the left side of the line, and Romaldo, the quarterback, ready to take that snap. He does so off the right hash mark. Handoff, Martin up the left side. They'll get to the 48. Back behind the line of scrimmage, brought down. A late flag thrown, Steve, as that was after the tackle.
Yeah, that's going to be a late hit. Don't want to get anybody hurt. with a minute to go. Both teams got a lot left to play. Grant, I was going to try to give some updates on other scores in Class 6A.
Yes.
And there aren't any. So we are the only 6A1 school in action here tonight. Now, a lot of people wondering, hey, why are the Rams playing on Thursday night? And for those that have forgotten, Norman has this thing where on the weekend of OU Texas, they don't play Friday night high school. Both schools take Friday night off so that fans and Sooners can make plans to get down to the Cotton Bowl. So that's really the reason when we play over here at Norman on OU Texas weekend, it's always going to be a Thursday night game.
Norman is actually at Edmond Memorial tonight.
There is a game going on. Okay.
Yeah, they are actually playing up there. So here we go. Back to the throws, Romaldo. We're scrambling to the right. He'll sling it up the right side of the field, connecting. And I think his receiver dropped it. 32 seconds left to play, so that'll bring up 2nd and 10, Steve Mallory.
Second down.
You got a score on that, Grant?
I do not. You have the Scoodle app on your phone?
It says it's tomorrow night.
Oh, is it tomorrow night? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I guess I could have sworn that was tonight.
We're the feature game.
Sweet. Never hurts to be the only game in town. Handoff. Blaine Martin, nowhere to go up the left side. I guess I read the schedule wrong when I was preparing our pregame notes because I thought they were over there tonight.
You're not out here under the green LED lights, and that probably gives me an advantage.
You've got a superpower tonight.
I don't know what's going on. Green Lantern. The Green Lantern out here.
I mean, I grew up 3 miles from a nuclear plant, and I'm still not as green as you are. So the clock is going to be allowed to expire. We have won this one big time tonight. Final score, your Owasso Rams 38, the Norman North Timberwolves 7. The First United Bank Mortgage Ram recap is straight ahead. We will name a McDonald's player of the game, get a Christian Brothers drive of the game. We got a lot of work to do. Stay with us. Back in 2 minutes. This is Owasso Ram football on 100.1 KYFM.
Uh-huh. I like this. What are you going to do? Arkansas.
Big win for the Owasso Rams tonight as they win 38-7 on the road here at Norman North. I'm Grant Merrill along with Steve Mowry and Christian Pavalora as we get set for the First United Bank Ram recap. And Steve, what a night. We thought that for a minute there that, Owasso might be en route to its second shutout win in just as many games. Norman North ended up getting on the scoreboard, but it still feels good to come out of Timberwolf country with a 38-7 win.
Well, and the Rams just did everything on each side of the ball. Offense, defense, special teams playing great tonight, and I was especially impressed by the defense and the way that they played. And I really think Isaiah Jacobs has given this offense a spark. It's helped settle them down. It's helped giving the offensive line confidence. Again, I guess if there's one area I'd like to see the Rams improve upon, it would be catching footballs that hit you in the hands.
Right.
That's one thing. I mean, you have those opportunities, and against a ball club like we faced here tonight, you can get by with some of those. But when you start playing against ball clubs like the Unions, the BAs, and those types of things, those are the kind of mistakes that get you beat. But I really like the way this team has grown, especially in the couple of weeks. We're seeing some of the younger players really begin to grow and mature. And, hey, we still got Keywan Hay coming back at linebacker at some point, and that's going to make, in my opinion, it'll make as tremendous a difference on the defensive side as Isaiah Jacobs has made on the offensive side.
I think one of the things, Steve, that you're going to see is the fact that you've got two games which will force the rest of our schedule to stand up and take note. I mean, we've still got some tough games left, don't get me wrong, but this is one where, when you come out to the games that we had in the first 3 weeks of the season, it's like, is Owasso going to be the one we schedule for homecoming? But then we turn around and have the performance that we have, and, we're no longer in a slouch, on anybody's schedule.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely turning things around here. We started out 1-3. People were going, hey, what's wrong with the Rams? Well, they're turning some things around now, turning some heads, and returning back to the Ram football that we're accustomed to seeing, the state championship team that we've seen. I'm not saying necessarily this is that team, but this is a team with a different personality that can do some of the same things. So we're building, we're growing, and this is even more key of going back to Coach Blankenship's theme of let's just go 1-0 this week, because if you go 1-0 enough times during the season, good things are going to happen and you're going to end up in good places.
Some of my favorite moments have come from Isaiah Jacobs, and you get that Keeney Jacobs connection, and it's almost like seeing the Christmas lights come on for the first time. I mean, it's just an excitement that I think is going to be here, barring any health issues. It's going to be here for the rest of the season. Well, let's take a look at our RCB Bank by the number stats update.
Well, the Rams doubled up in first downs, 20 for Owasso, 10 for Norman North. Rams had 38 carries for 225 yards. Will Keeney, 18 of 27 through the air, no interceptions, 236 yards. On the other side, Norman North, I thought they were run heavy tonight, more than I thought they were going to be coming in. They were fairly effective with it early on, but then the Ram defense made some adjustments. 38 carries for only 78 yards, and then Norman North really didn't do anything through the air till that last part of the fourth quarter. 7 of 16, 3 interceptions, including a pick and return for a touchdown by Omar Barker with 8:23 to go in that fourth quarter. At that point, that extended the Rams' lead to 38-0. And then you look at the total yardage for Owasso, 461 yards, 206 for Norman North. The Rams did lose a fumble. Penalties were not really a factor here tonight, although the Rams had 8, Norman North 6. Time of possession ended up being relatively even in the game. Maybe a number that you'd like to improve upon. Rams only 3 of 10 on third down, but a couple of occasions getting themselves in third and long with penalties. You'd like to clean that up somewhat. Looking at the individual numbers, Martin, the lead rusher for Norman North, 91 yards on 30 carries. He was the workhorse in the backfield tonight, as Romaldo had 7 carries for -7 yards. A lot of those were sacks. on the ground, but he did have the lone touchdown for the Timberwolves. And then for Owasso, really nice numbers over here as you look at the rushing yardage for Owasso. Isaiah Jacobs led all rushers with 133 yards on the ground, 19 carries, 2 touchdowns, and then also had 4 receptions for 66 yards and a touchdown. So 3 touchdowns for Jacobs. I know he's going to be mad at me if I don't vote for him for McDonald's Player of the Game, but that's yet to be seen. Will Keeney, 10 carries for 40 yards. Carney was in the game and had 2 carries for 17 yards. And Ahmad Triplett, 3 carries of his own for 21 yards and a touchdown. Then in the receiving end, it was Grant Van Landingham leading the receivers with 3 receptions for 70 yards, followed by Jacobs with 4 receptions for 66 yards. Peyton Lusk with the most receptions and targets in the game by Will Keeney, 6 catches for 40 yards. Mario Kirby added the 1 catch for 35 yards that really set up another touchdown for Owasso, and then Dawson Adams, the 1 reception for 14 yards. So really good, solid numbers, Grant, that we're used to seeing from this Ram offense, and numbers we expect to see throughout the rest of this season.
Okay, we'll take one more break, and when we come back, we'll name a McDonald's Player of the Game. We'll determine a Christian Brothers drive of the game, and then we'll wrap it up from here in Norman. Stay with us. This is Owasso Ram football on KYFM. We'll be right back. All right. Almost done.
Hey, the people demand us. we are the people's choice, okay?
Absolutely.
I can't control all this sexiness over the radio, okay?
We'll wrap it up here pretty quick, Brock.
Not here, I listen.
Okay, that last part might not be true. Might have lied a little bit there.
What the heck?
What?
Oh, that our sponsor? Who? Papa John's. All right, here we go. Final segment from here in Norman tonight, where the big win for the Owasso Rams comes at a 38-7 final score. Grant Merrill along with you, and Steve Mallory, Christian Favalora. We're glad you're with us here tonight as we get ready to name a McDonald's player of the game. It's brought to you by your 3 Owasso McDonald's locations, 76th Street and 169, Highway 20 and 169, or inside the McDonald's Walmart, or the Walmart McDonald's, inside the Owasso Walmart. I promise you we're probably going to be finding a Norman area McDonald's to eat at on our way home, and we appreciate Tim Rich and all the folks coming and being a sponsor of Owasso Ram football, because there's nothing that sounds better right now than the number 3 quarter pounder. So anyway, Steve Mallory, I'm getting some looks here. We just got to throw it out to our sponsor, Brock Crawford. Steve Mallory, a McDonald's player of the game. Who do we got tonight?
Well, I mean, this one could go a couple of directions. You know, it could be Isaiah Jacobs again. I mean, how do you take the yardage that he got away on the ground, in the air, 3 touchdowns? But I just really felt like Hilton Mosby set the tone for the defense tonight. He played like a senior. He played like the guy we expected to see, and I hate to take one away from the other, but I was just so impressed with his play on the defensive side tonight. We don't get a lot of defensive attention, and we know what Isaiah Jacobs can do, what he's going to do and everything, and it was fantastic tonight. But I liked Hilton Mosby on the defensive side.
I'm going with you. I like Hilton Mosby. I think that he did a great job coming back from injury here a couple weeks ago, and has really just stepped up, stood out, and contributed on the defensive end of the ball. We couldn't have done it without him tonight, especially when you're 2 weeks in a row looking toward a shutout, and then, you know, limiting Norman North on their own field to 1 touchdown, and he was a key part of that this evening. Christian Brothers drive of the game. What's it going to be?
Well, I like the opening drive. We talked about having to set the tone in this ball game, and that was the longest drive of the night. It was an 8-play, 78-yard drive, took off 3 minutes and 32 seconds, and culminated in an Ahmad triplet 7-yard touchdown run. The Rams took a 7-0 lead, and I think the confidence from there just began to explode. They come back and get a field goal on another drive that lead 10-0 at the end of the first quarter, add another touchdown on an Isaiah Jacobs touchdown run at the 7:44 mark of the second quarter. But I really think that longest touchdown drive, 78 yards, consistent on 8 plays, that really set the tone for this offense. So that's our drive of the game.
We've got us a homecoming game next week as we're at home against Southmore, and we hope that you'll be with us for that a week from tomorrow night. I almost say a week from tonight, but it's Thursday, so we'll have the night off tomorrow evening, get to watch some area high school football, some of our opponents as well, but we'll get to have a wonderful weekend as hopefully OU goes down and takes care of the Longhorns in pretty short order, and we're definitely ready to be back with you at Owasso next week, as we need a good crowd for homecoming.
Yeah, got the SaberCats coming to town, and Southmore always brings a tough ball club, a lot of spread offense, and just want to continue. The Rams now 3-3 on the season, 2-1 in district play as they move to the plus side of the win column.
Absolutely. Thank you for being with us tonight. We appreciate all of our fine sponsors who made it possible for us to be down here. Appreciate Brock Crawford and his crew for doing a great job on the video end on the Owasso Sports Network and inside Owasso.com feeds. And we appreciate Christian Favalora, Rob Williams, Kelly Ward, our whole crew for doing a great job in keeping us straight here this evening here in Norman. We're going to hit the turnpike and head back to Owasso. Thank you for being with us tonight. For everybody I mentioned, I'm Grant Merrill saying good night, God bless you. Thanks for listening. This has been Owasso Rams football. Rams win 38-7 tonight. Have a great evening, everybody.